There are thousands of AI videos, tutorials, news, prompt tricks, AI automations that earn you £10,000, business ideas. Most people watching never build anything. I was one of them last year. 6 months later, you're still consuming and nothing to show for it. This channel exists for only one reason, to help people become builders, real AI builders. Why AI? I became obsessed about AI about a year back, and I started to look at how I could prompt better, how I could do AI automations with no code, how I built a couple of vibe coded apps. And this year, I've made a big bet and I've handed in my notice. After 20 years in tech, I didn't want to spend my next decade helping other people um, build things that I'm not in control of. So I'm betting on myself. I'm documenting this journey from a senior product manager to an AI builder. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to build frameworks. I'm not going to create decks. I'm going to ship real apps. And this is a huge deal for me because I'm scared, right? And I haven't I've done very little coding in the past, and trust me, I'm not a good coder at all, right? So i'm 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 doing this because it's fun, it's exciting, and it's something everyone should be doing. So who is this for? That, right? So um if you're an engineer, and trust me, you have a path, like it most people feel that's the easiest, but I've met a lot of engineers in my career who have maybe managed just one legacy application their whole life. They've just done support their whole life. um, it's for you, right? Like, do you want to just be stuck in that dead end job all your life, or do you want to just like switch and learn new technology? Because AI engineers are going to be the key jobs that everyone will want in the next 1 or 2 years, and it's already happening, right? I don't have the real metrics, but if you go search, there's so many jobs on AI engineers. So yes, if you're a product manager like me, if you're a domain expert, if you're like an business roles like marketing or accounting or sales, like if you're in a retail job, for example, and most of your day you're doing nothing but watching videos or TikTok or Instagram, if you want to change your life, there is a path for you, and this is that path. Let me say that if you were planning to watch this from bed and don't intend to actually follow along or be curious about it or be consistent about it, this might not be for you, right? So the only two ingredients you need are curiosity and consistency, and we'll get there. We'll get there. So yeah, we're not going to watch because that won't compound. Just building and building and building is how we are going to learn. um as a person who's done both of these, I'll tell you how learning with software generally works, right? So you have people who collect courses like medals, and you can see people on LinkedIn sharing, hey, I've completed this certification. I'm like, yeah, so what how has that actually helped you meaningfully do something, right? There's like, no, people leave your heart and they just move on, and 1 month later, maybe even like 2 weeks later, you wouldn't have an idea what that course was, right? So yes, don't be a course collector. Don't go and finish courses that are passive. Don't go and do a fast API course. The worst courses, believe me, the worst courses are those courses which are like very pure technology led courses, because they are going to teach you about how to learn Python, right? Learning Python is not actually going to help you, because you need to apply Python to a real problem. That's what people pay you money for applying a skill, applying whatever you've learned in technology to actually translate it into a business problem. the other set of people who increasingly have come everywhere, and I've done this as well, right? Because that was my way into actually getting to this point where I thought like, okay, I need to do something different, is the vibe coders, right? So the vibe coders are obsessively, they're like, they come typically from a business background, but they have like very good intuition of what works, what people want, and they build things, but here's the thing, they build things, but they build things that don't last. There are issues, there are failures, there's spaghetti code that the AI creates, and um, again, they've lost control. They don't know how to evaluate. They have like they spend so much money on AI, they don't know what problem AI should solve, what problem core engineering should solve. So I'm picking the middle, and I'm calling this as the AI builder, right? The middle path is where we build real things that matter. We are shipping apps that matter, which we are applying our knowledge in a way that's sensible. We are understanding every decision, every trade off that we are going to make, and we are doing it in public, right? So we are going to have a portfolio that's live. It's a URL. It's not, hey, I finished a course, or hey, this is a vibe coded app, but I please don't ask me anything about it because I have to ask my AI to tell me what it was. So the path I have created for myself is almost like a grade system. I'm going to start with core engineering essentials, and I believe if you don't, if you, and this is where like a lot of engineers or developers who are watching this, who already have this, right? So this may be the fastest one for you because you need core engineering principles of how um, how does HTTP work, right? How do you actually move a request from the client to the server and all the way back? How do you think about a relational database versus a vector database, and why should I choose one versus the other? And these, if I tell that to you in theory, tomorrow you'll forget it because it's just like so boring. It's like plain bread. So we're not going to do that. We're going to actually look at a business problem. We are going to build around that business problem and take and think about the trade-offs that we made, the decisions that we have made, and that's going to be the path for us. So grade 1 and 2, absolutely no frameworks. We are just going to like try and do this the hard way, really the hard way. But these are all AI apps, right? These are still AI apps that um, uh, actually they have potential to actually make money. Um, Moving to grade 3, 4, this is where I call, as we are starting to become more AI native, we are not just putting a wrapper like dumping an AI into a business domain, but we are actually thinking about real AI problems like how do I do retrieval augmentation, how do I think about um, some interesting problems that AI can solve here, right? Like, and this is the path where like if you finish these grades, you can be an AI engineer. Trust me, because I've looked at all the AI engineer roles, and this is where we want to get to. If you do the first two, you can start freelancing, right? Like you can go to People Per Hour, or you could go to Upwork and set up your profile, but don't do that because there's just so many people, and just keep building and figuring out where it is the you the you really stops, and you're comfortable with that, right? If you go further along, that's where like my favorite bit, which I really am desperate to start, but holding on, is about AI agents and MCP tools and autonomous agents, right? And I have actually built some of the MCP. I tried building an MCP agent. I tried building several AI agents, and I kept getting stuck at like, okay, hold on, what is this doing? And that's why we need to follow this sensible path. And this sensible path for us of grade 1 to 6 is not going to be a theory, right? It's going to be, each one of that is going to be a tangible product, that we will have. And I'm hoping this is where my product management and some of the research and ideation and bringing it to market can help, because we will try to pull this together, and let's see um, where it works. And it's a deployable app. It's we are going to go through the full life cycle every time. We're going to think about whether this is the right market. Should we be actually speaking to customers? Should we How do we evaluate if it's the right one? Do we track real revenue numbers as well? um, and the important bit for me is, um, how do I make this series in a way that it's not just applicable for me? Um, I want to give patterns through our grades which mean that it's applicable. So I can, for example, I can tell you that if in grade 1 we are building a very simple web application with a single database and a single LLM call, right? I'm going to tell you what are all ideas that will actually be similar, that already exist and they have proof that they are making money, and how you could apply that absolute same principle to build your own. So I don't, I mean, I'm going to give you all of the code as a reference when you get stuck, but absolutely, right? You should be going and building your own app. Um, my first project, I'm going to talk a separate video on what that is, but um, I'm going to build a growth map for businesses to find visibility gaps, and this is going to be using APIs like keyword data. It's going to be using AI to actually understand how the competitors are faring versus this. I'll show you the idea, the build, where it's breaking, and this is just day two when I'm recording this video, and I can already tell you my progress is not really what I was expecting. Have created a single um, endpoint, but that's fine. And it's, I think we are not going to measure our outcome based on time. We're going to measure it based on the actual result. Learning is a result. Revenue is a result. How many people like it is also a great result. So yes, stick with me, subscribe to my channel. We're going to go through a lot of exciting apps. Grab this career map in the description, sign up for all of the code, resources, templates, roadmap, whatever other things that comes in. Yeah, let's build something fantastic. Let's build something that's ours. Let's crack on.